think of some
It's a sportsmanship thing. What is going on, guys? It is JJ here, back with a new video, and today we are back with a new F1 video. Me, slowly, bit by bit, still trying to learn the sport, still trying to understand what is going on, and I think we're going to continue with sort of, this time more associated to F1 cars. We're going to take a look at why F1 cars spark. Now, the Donut Media video that we watched a really long time ago sort of alluded to the fact that there's like a plate, I think, underneath cars. I don't really even know how F1 cars are made, so that might be the next video that we do, because I need to learn how F1 cars are even made in the first place. I know the hours and hours of engineering, the amount of manpower and money that has to be spent to make an F1 car, which we did take a look at how much it costs to make an F1 car. It's immense. And so I want to know how they actually engineer it, how they like come by doing it, what tests they run, etc. I feel like there's so much to be learned, especially on my end. So let me know what you guys want to see down in the comments below. We're going to take a look at why F1 cars do spark. So maybe I can learn a little bit more about the mechanics and why I always see them taking corners and sparking, which terrifies me when I watch, because I'm like, oh, why are they sparking? Like, what's happening? Is the car too low? I need to clear myself of those worries. For having car anxiety, this is the wrong sport for me to be doing, but it's so damn entertaining. So entertaining. But yeah, anyway, let's go to the video. Okay guys, you can find the original video down in the description below, obviously, and let me know what else you guys want to see. I think we're going to go all the way through the video for the first time, and then maybe come back to it the second time and ask my questions and stuff like that. We'll stop. We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. I kinda always do. Oh my god, louder.
An F1 car sparking has to be one of the most visually pleasing things for an F1 fan, apart from a side-by-side battle for the lead, I'd say. Seeing the pinnacle of motorsport machinery creating firework-like displays from the rear ends is simply a scintillating watch. But how does this happen? And do you know the difference between the sparks created back in the 80s and the sparks now? No? Well, you've come to the right place to find out.
No. Very much no. Very much no. I do not know the difference. Also, I wasn't even alive in the 80s, so I can't really talk anything about the 80s cars. But yeah.
Sparks started to become a regular feature of F1 in the late 1980s, where teams would run their cars as low to the ground as possible to try and maximise downforce. And when the cars were full of fuel, they'd regularly bottom out, producing a shower of sparks, and tracks were a bit bumpier back then. It made for some spectacular moments. Mansell and Senna at Barcelona in 1991, millimetres apart, sparks flying, and people on the edge of their seats. If you watch the opening laps of any race from the late 1980s, early 1990s, you'd see plumes of sparks flying all over the place. Mansell once even said he'd deliberately seek out bumps to try and shower the driver behind him in sparks to try and distract them, which is massively cheeky. Makes me think of some
It's a sportsmanship thing. You know, it's a sportsman thing. Let me rephrase that. Sportsman thing.
Rear car antics, to be honest. On occasion, the sparks could also leave small burn marks on the visors. Following Imola 1994, the FIA mandated that the floor of all cars be fitted with a 10mm thick skid block or plank to prevent teams from running the cars too low. If this was worn by more than 1mm at the end of the race, signalling that the car's ride height was probably too low, the driver would face disqualification. This happened to Schumacher at Spa that year, costing him the win. To mount the plank, they
see, that's the thing. Like, how do they judge that? Do they literally take a little tape measure and just put it next to the wooden plank? Like, imagine if, like, one, like, of the people in the pit crew accidentally put too much fuel in, like, back in their time. Just like one time, like he put too much fuel in, and let's say like one lap, too much. Like, that'd be so dumb.
Usually made from Kevlar, known as skid blocks. In 2015, this material was changed, with the FIA mandating that it had to be made from titanium. It's believed that this was done in an effort to bring back sparks, make the cars look more spectacular, and improve the show. But that just wasn't the case. Before 2015, teams discovered that by using hard-wearing metals and placing them strategically on the plank, they could run the cars lower so that when they bottomed out, they'd hit the metal rather than the plank, without risking wearing it away too much. These bits of metal could also fragment and cause punctures, which became a bit of a safety risk. This is where the titanium comes in. It wears away much faster than the previous metals used, forcing teams to be a bit more careful with their ride heights, as well as it being much lighter and safer than what was used before. As a bonus, it also produces a nice dose of sparkage when it grinds along the asphalt. Sparkage a word? Of course, despite the intention to prevent teams from running their cars too low to the ground, teams will know exactly how much bottoming they can get away with, which is why we still see the sparks today, especially when the cars are at their heaviest at the start of a race. It looks pretty cool at most tracks, but the awesomeness ramps up a whole new level at night where the sparks fly.
Honestly, so with the black cars too, that actually does look really, really dope. Actually, yeah, you know what? I'm a fan of that. I support that.
That's why F1 cars spark. Are you a fan of the cars sparking? Do you like the word spark? I've used it a lot in this video. If you're not, do you have something against fireworks? Because they are awesome. Let us know in the comments section below.
Okay, that was actually extremely informative. That is not what I was expecting from this video at all, to be completely honest with you guys. I kind of like that. I kind of like this type of video because like it's just being extremely deliberate and informative on the F1 cars. Like that, like if we went back through it a second time, I would actually understand why things like titanium are being added to the bottom of car, which I don't understand the wooden planks still. Don't get it. I get you're trying to make cars safer, but why wood? Why wood? Imagine if it's like, I don't know, imagine let's say like somebody loses a piece of their car on the track and like it chips, like let's say it like just becomes super sharp and it dices like an entire chunk out of the wood. Would that then get them disqualified? Like that would make me so mad. Obviously that's like a worst case scenario or just a scenario I'm making up in general. But yeah, that's the only thing that I'm so confused by. The sparks on cars though, they scared me before, but now I understand. Now I understand why they are there.
It has to be one of the most visually pleasing things for an F1 fan. Apart from a side-by-side battle for the lead, I'd say. Seeing the pinnacle of motorsport machinery creating firework-like displays from the rear ends is simply a scintillating watch. But how does this happen? And do you know the difference between the sparks created back in the 80s and the sparks now?
Oh, sparks now? No? Huge?
Well, you've come to the right place to find out.
I never really
Sparks
noticed.
started to become a regular feature of F1 in the late 1980s, where teams would run their cars as low to the ground as possible to try and maximise downforce.
Is that why cars back then were a bit quicker?
When the cars were full of fuel, they'd regularly bottom out, producing a shower of sparks, and tracks were a bit bumpy.
Which, yeah.
It made for some spectacular moments. Mansell and Senna at Barcelona in 1991. Millimeters apart, sparks flying. And
guys, we need to do, you know what I just realized? We need to do a top 10 finishes video. There have been some amazing, like, neck and neck finishes where like every little bit of like lap psychology, downforce, wind, everything comes into play, and we have not taken a look at that. If you guys have made it this far in the video, A, I appreciate the hell out of you. You're my peoples, I appreciate you. And B, we need to take a look at the best finishes in F1, like ever. We could go by decade, we could go by year, we could go race by race, whenever. Let me know your favorite finishes. I guess a good one was Brazil 2016. Was it Brazil? No, Spain 2016, sorry. Spain 2016 GP, where Max Verstappen won his first ever race. And I think they said he was holding off Kimi Räikkönen. That finish is incredible. And he's 18 years old in the front of the race. Like Hamilton and Rosberg are gone. Every single bit of that was fantastic. I want to see more like that. Not only is this a plug for that video, you should go take a look at that video on my channel, but also leave me your comments in the comments below. Let me know your guys' favorite dramatic, last-minute neck-and-neck finishes in F1, and we will take a look at them. I think it's time for that video. It's 100% time for that video. I need this brain to be filled with information. Let me know. Thank you guys so much for watching. I will catch you guys for another F1 video, probably on how F1 cars are made. That's probably going to be it. But yeah, catch you guys later.